Coach, let's talk about the MVP for the Stateline Volleyball Alliance, because you had a very talented team this year, Tim Koehler. Tell us why he's so important to the Crusaders this year.
Well, it was interesting because when I got your email, I immediately sent out a mass text to my coaching staff to help me with the decision. And it ultimately came out to being a consensus on all of our points that Tim was the guy. My biggest reason for giving it to Tim is that he's a foundational part of this team. He does everything for us, from passing right on point almost every single time, digging on defense. He's almost always there and has made several outstanding plays throughout the season, a couple of which I think you actually witnessed and was actually able to get some video of. Pretty incredible stuff that he's able to do to get that ball up, playable, and much more than playable at times, and actually even giving us up to 3-option sets off of digs, which is somewhat unheard of in terms of ball control in boys volleyball at this point. So I think that really contributed a lot to our victories throughout the season. Plus, he's a senior, so his presence on the court is a binding presence, and he's kind of the calm, constant influence out there. If you remember all the way back to our first match versus Boylan, he basically carried us to that victory, and carried us to the victory over East the first time as well when it seemed that everything was falling apart. He was that constant steady hand to put the ball in bounds, whether serving or hitting or whatever we needed done. He was the man to do it, and we could always knew we could always rely on him. Not necessarily the most vocal kid out there on the court, but as I said, the quiet, constant influence for positive that I think helped carry us through many, and if not all of the matches throughout the course of the season.
I think of that Boylan game, I remember he served like 10 in a row when you really needed 10 in a row.
Absolutely. I think it was almost up to about halfway to 3/4 of the way through the season before he missed a serve in the match. So his serving percentage has got to be really high up there. Not computed it at this point, unfortunately, but if we were to do that, definitely would be up there, and he's definitely one of the ones that we encourage to play boys volleyball at the next level, but these guys are still at the point where they haven't quite decided whether they want to invest in this fully yet, and so Tim's going for football, which I can't be happier for him. He's an outstanding football player as well, big stud athlete from the time he was in grade school, as I understand, and helped carry the Lutheran football team to be dominant now in their conference from when before they were getting beaten by almost everyone they saw. And again, to emphasize what he's done on the volleyball court, we couldn't have done what we've done this season without him.
And I think basically one of his key assets was he made everybody look better too. He was the guy that made the guys have the big hits and those type of things, is basically what you're telling me. Absolutely.
Between him and Johnny in the back row, passes were almost always on, and again, a positive influence as well. Very encouraging. Had a smile from time to time, which definitely would help the other guys up. And when they needed a kick in the butt, he was there to provide that as well, but always in a way that was encouraging and helped bring the team up.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Dave.